a surrogate, you're trusting someone with your child and you don't know what they're doing and you can only control to a certain point.
The second miscarriage hit us like at week 10. It was really hard. That because we thought we were just like in the clear.
The reason I chose IVF was because I had been sick for a long time. I had ulcerative colitis for 8 years. So my 20s, I spent most of it in a hospital at least once a month. I knew I would not be able to have a girl if this didn't work. So we put in a boy as well. He was strong and she was weak and I lost one. Everyone thought that we lost the girl.
We're about to find out if Matt and Abby are pregnant.
Wait, this is wet.
You touched it. You know what's on that stick, right?
Matt and Rebecca, welcome to Unplanned.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. We're excited.
You guys are a power couple. You both have accomplished so much on YouTube. Your viewership, your subscriber counts, it's incredible. I mean, the views are in the billions. The numbers are just like even too hard to fathom. But my question is, how did this relationship, how did this whole
Do you want to go
empire
for it?
come to be
You can do it. Go
from
ahead.
the very beginning?
Okay, Rebecca was a professional cheerleader in the Bay Area, and I was in a boy band, and we were shooting a music video for TRL, and she was one of the 5 cheerleaders casted for the video.
Back when MTV had music videos and you had TRL.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a long time ago. This is
How long ago?
way before. I mean, I was 19 then.
Okay.
So it's been it's forever. I was a teenager when we met.
Hold on.
But you guys were even younger. No,
I
don't
have to
bring
pull
up the
the photo.
photo.
You got a picture.
I have to,
This
day
is
one
sweet.
here.
I
Hold
love young love.
You guys were way younger than us when you met.
We were in 8th grade.
But still 19 though. That's
Still
oh,
young.
that's so cute.
No.
That's so sweet. You totally look like you were in a boy band.
Yeah. He had
You
weird
guys.
makeup in that
Spoiler
for
alert.
the shoot. He was in like a white
Yep.
room.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
So who made the first move?
Who did make the first move?
Well, I think
Probably me because he never had a girlfriend.
I made the first move, and then I made the first move again that night. I think it was I called her again that night, which was like a big mistake.
Yeah, true.
But we had
It's a big mistake to call twice.
Well, he called the same day he got my number, like 3 hours later, and I was like, wow,
just gotta go
he's
for it
aggressive. And
sometimes.
then he called again that night, and I was
No
like,
way.
wow,
I don't remember that part. I don't
this
remember
is-
that part.
Yeah, we were young, and I was leaving to go to college at UCSB. I ran track there, and so I didn't want a boyfriend, and so he asked me out like right before I left for college, which was not part of my plan or his even. And so we did distance for about 2 or 3 years. I was running in college and he was touring,
Boy banding.
doing what boy banders do.
Wow.
Let's go.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So when you're on tour, were you calling her every day? Did this clinginess continue
Well, I think
on?
you have to
through-
at the beginning. You can't call every day. I found that out pretty early on.
He didn't know the rules.
So yes, every other day I think was our limit.
A limit.
Yeah. We talked a lot on the phone, but I was really busy with track and college and like transferring. I was a transfer, so that's always like takes a sec to get adjusted.
Yeah.
Because they're like, who are you? Coming in. They've been there for 2 years already. So it was, I think, really good because both of us had our own lives in those college years, which I think are very formative. And then we stayed together. So eventually, it worked out, but we both had our own lives for a while.
For like 2
So you meet
years?
At least 2 years.
Really?
Wow.
But you weren't dating for those 2 years.
We were dating. I mean, at any point, if he met someone or I did, I'm sure we would have had that talk, but I was so involved in like sports and he was so involved in his career that
Boy banding.
we weren't really interested in, I wasn't like looking to find other guys or anything. I was just like very focused.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When did you get married? How much time went between you guys meeting at 19
Yeah, how
and
long?
Oh man.
You know exactly
I
the number.
do. I think
It was 10 years
engaged-
before he
engaged,
proposed.
yeah,
No way.
And then 12 years before we got married.
Yeah.
Did you move in together though before?
We moved in about 4 years in.
Okay.
Okay.
And our parents weren't stoked about that. So
Oh,
we
really?
had
Also kind of
separate
in
bedrooms.
denial that we were.
Both my parents weren't thrilled about that, but also liked him a lot. It was just
Yeah.
more of the
Yeah.
living together. I grew up very
Yeah, we
strict
were
Catholic. So we had we definitely had to get a 2-bedroom apartment.
You're like, I swear.
So it's okay, mom and dad. We got a 2-bedroom.
So I mean,
Nothing's going
that's
on.
what makes them. You
And
know, if
grandma
that
was
can
cool
make
with
them
that?
sleep at night, I was fine getting a 2-bedroom apartment. That
I think at the end of the day, they knew that we did it to move to Los Angeles. So it's when we moved to LA. And so it's like they knew that we both kind of needed the support of the other person. I think both sides did too. So.
Yeah, because we didn't know anyone down here. And it was great because he worked in hotel sales. So he was gone during the day. And I worked at a place called Saddle Ranch when I first moved here.
I've heard of Saddle
Yeah,
Ranch.
it's got a
famous spot.
mechanical bull.
Let's
and-
go.
Isn't that like where all the YouTubers go?
I think so now.
I
At the
don't know.
time, there
Yeah.
was no YouTube. So it was like so new. I guess there was YouTube, but it wasn't a thing. So we worked opposite schedules. I really don't think we would have seen each other if we did not live together.
Wow.
So
So 10 years.
Yeah.
Why 10 years?
honestly,
No rush.
I'm not the girl.
Yeah.
I wasn't like the girl that was like, you better put a ring on it. I think
yeah.
it was more me. My parents divorced like after 22 years. And so
Okay.
I always was like, I want to wait because like you change a lot in your 20s. And I was nervous that we would change so much, especially because we weren't together for a lot of our relationship in the beginning, that it's like, what if we change and, you know, and it doesn't work out? I was just so fearful of commitment, even though I was extremely committed. It made no sense, but
no, that makes sense.
it worked for us.
Having experienced that in your past, I see like a couple parallels in our relationship that I've always said I feel like this made us strong in our relationship is that first of all, we started at long distance. We only lived 2 hours away, but just being able to talk like grows your like emotional connection, like, and really just your friendship with that person.
True.
So I'm sure that like sets a really good foundation for like a long-term relationship. And then also moving somewhere where you both know no one, you just have each other. That just like you being that support system for each other, like, it makes sense. You guys have been together now
Yeah.
for how many years has it been now?
It's been
a good
a-
amount. It's been
like-
a good amount.
Almost 20, I think.
No
Wow.
way.
Yeah.
Congrats, you guys.
I don't know the
Yeah.
exact. We stopped counting. We're like,
Yeah.
you know what? We're just gonna start from marriage on.
Yeah, that's
It's
when our
just
lives
getting,
start.
but for a very long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for us, it's important too that we each have our own thing or our independence. Like I'm very independent, he is too. So our worlds do collide now, but especially in the beginning, it was like we needed to have our own things too.
Yeah.
So we weren't codependent, I would say.
What are those independent things that you still, you know, keep time for on your own?
I run, so I always run in the morning. Like I do that, or I get out somehow.
You just run outside.
Yeah, I just run. Like
She
I run
was
for about an
running.
hour. I just have to do that. I think
so
just,
a 1 hour
I was
run.
like that.
yeah. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
It's like meditative. It's where I can like think and like I used to like train and track and run a lot. I do it more for clearing my head. So I get like 1 hour and you know, going out with friends, like if there's girls trips or I don't really do trips, but like day events. Just those kinds of things
That's
I think
fun.
are really important.
I just want to go back to the running for 1 second. I'm trying to understand running for an hour because I so want to, but I just can't. So do you like wake up early and like
Yeah.
go like before? Like,
I
right at
run
sunrise?
before Zadie wakes up.
Okay.
So that's like I have to be done by 8 because that's when she wakes up.
Okay.
She wakes up a little earlier now because of school. So I've been like a little more lenient. Now I see her a little later, but I used to like for the first at least 2 years, I was there when she woke up. So I always made sure I'd be back in time. Yeah, it's early. It's early mornings, but it sounds like you guys
Well,
have
for us,
early
that would be
mornings too.
Waking up at 4 a.m.
I know.
to get there before the kids wake
Yep.
up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how many miles is that roughly?
I don't know, like 6 to 8.
Oh my gosh. The
Okay.
longest I've ever ran is 6
Do you do
miles.
pre-workout? Like I'm trying to
Seriously?
figure this out.
No, I just like go.
Do you eat like are you so starving afterwards?
No, I'm so used to it. I think my body is so efficient that I probably burn less calories because the more you do it, the more efficient your body gets, right?
What does
you
your
have to
heart
shock
rate
it.
get up to?
I have a very low heart rate.
See that?
That's
Yeah, if we're in the hospital, if she's in the hospital, it's like they're constantly like monitoring. It's
beeping.
like beep, beep,
It
'cause their
drops
heart
under
rate's so low,
40.
Yeah.
It's genetic. My mom has it too. Like
mine is so fast.
That has to be because you run though as
Yeah.
well. I've heard runners have really low heart rates,
it's
right?
that plus genetics.
Yeah.
It really is.
You're just built for it.
Yeah, my mom's
Wow.
not as athletic, and hers is just as low.
Does that mean you're going to live to like 120? I mean,
Probably.
having that
Yeah.
low of a heart rate,
I
I
mean,
feel like that's a sign of a healthy person.
I feel like you're feisty too. The feisty ones
Ooh.
always
the
last.
feisty
Yeah, you
one.
got like feisty. No, you got energy though. You know, you've
I
got
mean-
fire, motivation. Like
Yeah.
I think about my grandma. Like she's gonna, Lord willing, hang on for a really long time. She's just petite and
Yeah, she's 81, but she's with it.
she's with it.
Yeah. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Are you depressed? Because chances are you could use some therapy.
I'm not supposed to say that.
Seriously though, BetterHelp is amazing. It's all online. It's entirely convenient too because you can change your therapist at any time free of charge. It's actually like freaking awesome that you can do it all from the convenience of your couch.
What I think is awesome is that nowadays there's a lot more acceptance when it comes to therapy. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they've avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. So I think it's great that it's becoming normalized more.
Next time you're doom scrolling at 2 a.m., get off your phone and consider BetterHelp.
BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Like Matt said, it's fully online, it's affordable and convenient, and they've served over 5 million people worldwide. And you can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost to you. So you know that you can find a good therapist that can meet your needs and you can just build a good relationship with.
We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/unplannedpodcast to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/unplannedpodcast. Matt, what about you? What is your thing? Do you run 7 to 8 miles a day?
I'll run with her like
I
a couple,
make him
like,
run.
like
Days a
3 to
week.
4 times a week. I'll hit
That's
the run
our
with
together.
her. But then like, it's usually just during football season is when I'm kind of like just obsessing over like football stats and like my team, or right now it's like basketball playoffs.
Who are
Or
your
football
teams?
games.
Broncos.
Okay.
Denver Broncos mainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it all Denver teams, I'm guessing?
I like
Nuggets? Do you like the Denver Nuggets?
I don't know. I never got into the Nuggets when I lived there because it was never like, I don't know. Nobody really. It was all about the Broncos.
Do you know about their mascot? How their mascot does the craziest halftime shows and tricks? I'm pretty sure that the Denver Nuggets mascot is the highest paid mascot in all of the NBA. It's something crazy like $600,000 a year. This mascot gets paid to do half court shots during halftime. He puts on a show.
He's like
it's
the
cool.
dude perfect.
You should look it up. Yeah. It's pretty
Honestly,
cool.
though, have you worn those mascot outfits? Like,
it's rough.
It's
Have you?
worth it. I mean,
Probably
I feel like I
what-
put them
what-
on.
like it's like a
They're
Superman
so
outfit?
heavy and thick and big, and then you have to like shoot a basket. You can barely see in those things. I think that's a skill.
They probably smell terrible. Too.
Yeah.
It's not good.
You probably break out.
No.
Yeah.
They deserve to be compensated.
I agree.
Are you still into boy bands?
I enjoy pop music.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not like out there searching for boy bands.
Are you like me though, where sometimes your music genres are the things that like 16-year-old girls are listening to? Like, is it like that? Like you're listening to a lot of One Direction, you know?
You listen to One Direction?
Honestly, they're great. Harry Styles.
Oh.
I don't think there's any 16-year-old girls.
I don't know. I mean, Harry Styles puts out some great music.
He does. He does.
Matt has a very
It's pretty wide
range of music. It's country, it's pop. He likes just like good singers. And I'm tone deaf, so it all sounds good to me. So he like is very into, I don't know, the quality of the song. Or I just like need something
good song.
that's upbeat. Yeah.
Who's your artist right now?
I've been like really getting into Dan and Shay. I don't know if you guys know them.
love Dan and
Oh my
Shay.
gosh, yeah, their stuff's great. I used to be Rascal Flatts was like my number one before that.
Really?
But yeah, I feel like Dan and Shay is kind of taking over right now.
You guys are parents now. You've been parents now for what, over 2 years?
Yeah.
She's three now.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
Just turned
three.
three
Oh
in
my goodness.
February.
Yeah.
I know.
I didn't realize that she was older than Griffin. That's
Yeah.
Like 6 months older.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I don't know how you guys have two.
I know.
That's a lot.
Griffin was 13
And that-
months old when we had
Yeah, I
Augie.
know. That's crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah, Abby and I were watching a video that you posted 4 years ago about the wild journey that you guys have been through coming into parenthood, and Abby was crying like watching this video. It was very, very emotional.
In that video, we're talking about, like, just taking some time, working on your careers, and then it came time where you're like deciding, okay, now it's time, and then you're finding like having difficulties and your journey through the IVF. And I know that IVF is something a lot of people take to start their family nowadays. What was your experience with it like?
The reason I chose IVF was because I had been sick for a long time. I had ulcerative colitis for 8 years. So my 20s, I spent most of it in a hospital at least once a month for 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
And I do think that's why I have a lot of energy now, is because I had to fake
you don't have a colon?
Had to fake, no.
Oh my gosh.
Because I had to fake being healthy for so long. I would be, trying to be myself, and then I would go home and have to take a 3-hour nap. Like, and just like fighting to be normal, what my normal was. I was a college athlete. To go from that to just like trying to function every day was very different for me. So when I wanted to get pregnant, I was finally ready. We had waited because I'd been so sick for so long. I never traveled. I never did what normal people did. I never got to eat at a restaurant that was like, that I could enjoy, because I'd be so stressed. If there was no bathroom nearby, if someone went in it and I'd be stressed the whole time because I would have to go instantly. So it was just like, I got my life back, and finally we got to take a trip to New York, or, go to a restaurant and actually have a meal, and all these like things that everyone took for granted, I didn't get to do. And so we waited because it was like, I was doing all these things for the first time. And so by the time we wanted kids, the doctor had said it would be much harder because I don't have a colon, but we didn't realize it would be that much harder. And we chose IVF because I wanted to make sure that it was monitored the entire time. Like, I wasn't someone that could just show up at, a 6-week appointment and be like, hey, how's it going? Just checking in. It's like, I really felt like I needed that like monitoring, because my case is a lot different than most women's. So.
I'm not super familiar with ulcerative colitis.
Ulcerative colitis.
Ulcerative colitis. Is it something you're born with or something you develop over time?
You can get it at any point. It's an autoimmune disease.
Okay.
It's essentially your body can't attacks the good and the bad. It can't know the difference. So if I ate something, the inflammation there would just cause me to lose everything. I couldn't hold things in. There's different versions of that, but it's inflammation of the colon. So I had at least 13 colonoscopies.
Oh my goodness.
At least. I think I had way more. But I became an expert at colonoscopy, so if you ever need tips, I can help you.
Was that the colite that you had to have?
The colite, yeah.
That's pretty invasive too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you're asleep, so hopefully you don't wake up. But I did wake up one time.
No.
Yeah,
No.
you can do.
You woke up during a colonoscopy?
Yeah, and you look around, and they were like, "Oh no!" And then I just remember them putting a mask back on me to put
One
me
time
back
they had
to
me
sleep.
come into the operating room during an endoscopy, which is I think through the mouth, and it was just like awkward to see. I was like, no.
He didn't
I'm
want
out.
to see it.
Yeah.
Really?
Was it scary?
Yeah, it's just like you see your wife like just like this, and there's like a tube, they're basically just sending a camera like down your.
Yeah.
Anytime you're under anesthesia, you're so vulnerable.
Weird,
It's like
It's so
freaky.
crazy. And I know hacks for anesthesia too. Like, you have to, because you go under anesthesia, you aren't getting blood is not flowing to all the parts of your body, right? So a lot of women, and this is very similar after pregnancy, is at first you're fine, but then all of a sudden your hair will start to break and all of that, because for my surgeries, a lot of times they were like 6 hours. Imagine how, depending on how often you are under anesthesia, body's not getting the nutrients. So now whenever I do something like that, or if I have to go under for any reason, IVF, I get acupuncture, and that helps blood flow start back again. And so I had no hair loss on either pregnancy. And that was all because of, as soon as a day or two later, I was getting acupuncture, getting everything going again. Because if you think about pregnancy, your body's getting all of these nutrients, right? Your hair looks great, your skin looks great, and you're like, this is awesome. And then one day, you get none of it anymore, right? So it's it doesn't happen the next day, but then 2 or 3 months later, women are my hair's breaking, all of this. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you can get blood flow and keep it going in those areas, it's less likely that you're going to have all of those things happening postpartum, hair loss, like all of that.
But you don't like needles, right? But acupuncture doesn't bother you?
I had to, I mean, I don't love it. When they poke me, I don't love it, but I love what it did. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons I was able to stay pregnant, along with like the supplements I took. So I think when you're trying to be a mom and you struggle for so long, for me it was over 2 years, you'll do anything. And so for me, as much as I still can't look when I get an IV, I can't look at the needle in, but like the acupuncture needles are very small. I don't know, subconsciously I was able to like differentiate those needles from the other needles. And you know, if you want to be a mom bad enough, you know, all of a sudden needles aren't as scary as they used to be.
It's incredible what mothers will do for their children.
Right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
When you woke up during the colonoscopy, was that painful?
That's
Like, I'm still
No.
stuck on that.
Yeah, no,
Were you
it was-
drugged up enough that you didn't feel anything?
Yeah, you're just
Unlocked.
like in a dream. Like you're just like it feels like a sci-fi movie.
Oh,
you know,
gosh.
when you see everyone and like you're drugged up, so you're like, and they're like, no. I just remember like no, and then like putting a mask on, and I was like,
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I remember hearing about a story of a guy who woke up during a surgery
No,
he felt everything, but he couldn't. He couldn't talk or something.
I remember that.
So he
He
wasn't
sued
able.
them.
Yeah, he sued the hospital. And so when you said that, I immediately jumped to that conclusion of, oh my gosh, that's my worst nightmare.
He was like, I wish I would have died.
Yeah, no, he actually said that he wished he would have died because of the pain that he went through.
I don't even know how that happened. They messed something up.
Did you have a natural or
With
C-section?
Griffin, I had like a vaginal delivery. With Augie, I had a C-section. This podcast is sponsored by Bobby. I will never forget the moment when our 9-month-old son, I sat down to breastfeed him like I had for 9 months up to that point, day in and day out,
She's a
every
queen.
3 hours basically.
You're a queen.
And I just sit there and he looks at me like with the most appalled look. Like, what do you want me to do with that, Mom? And that was the end of our breastfeeding journey. It ended a lot sooner than I had anticipated. And I had a lot of mixed emotions about that. But also, I felt really good about making the transition to formula, especially with how many good formulas that are now out there on the market. I knew that we could find one that was comparable to breast milk, and that's why I'm really excited about Bobby. Bobby supports every feeding journey with simple, organic, high-quality formulas that bring their best for your best. After 3 years of research, testing, and retesting, and relentless mom-led development, Bobby launched the world's first USDA organic whole milk infant formula manufactured right here in the U.S. Bobby is launching the first of its kind recipe. It's Bobby's closest recipe to breast milk yet, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's packed with ingredients that support brain development, plus more naturally occurring full fat cream and fewer added oils deliver smoother poops, which I cannot tell you how stressful it is when your baby is constipated. So that is really relieving that they have that in mind. It's something you got to address. And what's great is that Bobby is available online and at a retailer near you. So exclusively for our Unplanned listeners, Bobby is offering an additional 10% off your purchase with code Unplanned, which is great because formula, we know, can be pricey. So it's great to have a discount. Take advantage of it. Visit www.hibobby.com for more details. That's HIBOBBIE.com.
What did you think of the C-section?
You know, okay, I always have to preface this by saying our first birth was traumatic, so my C-section felt like a breeze because I didn't have any of those complications that we had the first time. So I didn't have a bad experience with the C-section. Obviously the recovery is not good, but I do wish that I could have a vaginal delivery. But I can't, so I just C-section. So now I've just like been like, yeah, it's fine, it's quick. I honestly just focus on the positives about it. I'm like, he came so fast. I didn't have a single contraction. Like, it was very predictable, everything that happened. So I really like that. But yeah, I didn't have a bad. I think if I were to have an emergency C-section, I would have been like, I hate C-sections.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have like a traumatic first birth, because our son got he had a shoulder dystocia, so his shoulders got stuck, and that becomes like an emergency procedure. And so I think we were just like so freaked out by that like going in, having the baby within an hour and like feeling nothing. And also I was so drugged up that I was literally like, Matt, I'm so brave. I literally watched in the light because I could see the reflection of the C-section. I was like, I'm so brave. I wasn't even scared. He's like, that's awesome, babe. I also think that you were on some drugs. And I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense.
Oh my gosh.
So I had a great experience.
Were you strapped down?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to strap you down.
Yeah, because I was just like, this is.
Wait, did you have a C-section?
I had a C-section. I couldn't have a vaginal. Like, it would have been too risky for.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I thought it was the weirdest.
You hated the experience.
I don't like not being in control, and being strapped down is like, it wasn't bad. Our doctor was great, but I remember she wanted like a smaller scar, so they pushed kind of her back in, our daughter Zadie, and then moved her to kind of like even her out. And so I just remember like them pushing like so aggressively, and I'm just like here, and I felt like I couldn't talk, so I was like the quietest I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh, really?
And he's like, she's here, and I'm like,
wait, why couldn't you talk?
I don't know.
Oh,
that's why I don't know.
I feel
but
like
it felt like
chatting with you.
You felt this weird pain in your shoulder,
Did your shoulder
right?
hurt?
No.
I literally told the anesthesiologist behind me, I was like, can you get whatever's on my shoulder off my shoulder? Like chatting with him.
Maybe that's the drugs again.
No, it was they said it was gas.
That's why I wonder if
Gas.
women experience
Gas in my
different
shoulder.
things.
Shoulder gas.
I was literally like, please get this elephant off my shoulder. That's what it literally felt like. And he was like, no, that's a common symptom if you're like short or something.
If you're short.
Shoulder pain. Nothing hurt here where they were literally slicing me open and pulling a baby out. I mean,
No,
that
it
didn't
had
hurt.
no pain. I just
No.
thought it was weird when you just
Tugging.
see your stomach like rolling.
It
And
felt like I got deflated. Like I
Yeah.
remember that feeling. Like it was like I was like,
man, I feel like they could do better for women, because I still feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie again, and there's
That
some
felt
human,
sci-fi.
and
Yeah.
like the like white lights, and there's no like clouds on the ceiling. It's just
No,
like
they
you're
could decorate
strapped
it.
down, and you're just
could
like
decorate.
this, and they're
They
just
could
like
decorate.
moving you, and you're just like, I don't know, like can they? Yeah, could
And
they
they-
decorate so I could look at a cloud?
that
up
would be nice
on the wall.
rather than my reflection of me getting sliced
Yeah.
open. Was he not allowed in the room when you got your spinal block?
He was allowed for the whole thing.
Really?
I think you were there when
Yeah.
I got the.
Oh,
They
no,
made
no.
him leave
Have
for
the
the
drug?
spinal.
They took her into, I think, we were in
Oh,
a room.
you weren't there?
And then they took her in a room,
Oh.
and then they did it, and then they brought her in.
That's what I did. I just didn't like them separating me from. Like I was like, I don't know why that's. I'm sure there's a good reason for that
Were you like
policy.
super cold after you gave birth too?
No, I think I was sweating because I thought I was gonna throw up. Remember
Because they
that?
she was like shivering.
I went into like a hypo, like I started shaking. They had to warm me.
And they're like, oh, this is
after.
normal. I was like,
That happened after
it
I got the
doesn't-
epidural.
They always
the
say
first time.
everything's
Epidural,
normal. I
yeah.
think there's like 25 things that can go.
Yeah,
and
don't
every
you
woman
love it
has different experience.
When it's like, it's just because it's hormones, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
kind of answer is that? I'm like, I don't want hormones to
Oh.
ever be an answer.
did
for
you have
anything.
water in like a certain area?
like on my body?
Yeah. So after all my water in my stomach just like went back, and I had just
No
like
way.
a back bump, and
No
it was just
way.
water.
Yeah, she did.
That's
I remember
funny.
she
It
did
was like a
that.
hump.
I didn't know
And
that was a thing.
Oh, they were like, that's normal. I'm like, how do you get it out? What do you do? And they're like, oh, it'll just naturally come out. So like most people have like water
Yeah, I
here.
had lots of that.
No, I had like maybe a little, but I had a hump in my back. I'm like, why did it go to my back? I need to know, like, give women tips. So, like, when we're on it, maybe I arched my back too much. Maybe I was fighting. I don't know.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
But honestly, like you said, nothing could surprise me.
No.
They say anything can happen. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, that's crazy. Like, someone told me that their gums were bleeding and that's how they knew they were pregnant. And I was like,
No.
I didn't know that was a symptom. Anything can be a symptom.
Wow.
That's crazy. No, I just remember that my worst thing after the C-section is that I could not pee. And it was like a big deal. They had to keep coming in. They were like, you have to pee or else we're going to have to put another catheter in you. And I was like, no. And so, like, I was literally just like trying for so long. It was so frustrating. You're just
Matt
so
looks
numb.
so like upset right now with this conversation.
No,
He's
no.
traumatized.
No, it's no.
Wait.
Oh my gosh, what our wives go through is incredible
I know,
for our children.
Water backs, and then
yeah, water
like-
on the
Yeah.
back.
like a human
I will
camel,
say-
and the other one can't go.
Admittedly, like the first week postpartum is like never my favorite. I wish I liked it. Like I wish I loved it, but both times I was kind of just like, ugh. And then it took like week 2, week 3. I'm like, I love this. I love the baby. I love life.
Yeah.
But that first week, I was like, no. I'm going through it. What was your journey like then? Like after you had Zadie, were you like, okay, well, we've got our child. This is our family. Or was it always like, we're going to try to do IVF again? Or what was the plan?
We had done enough IVF rounds where we had more eggs left. So I think it was just figuring out when. So we started filming about was it a week or a week and a half after giving birth. I was back to full production.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
So I didn't really
After
have
a C-section?
Holy
yeah.
cow.
So here's another hack is the C-section is also where the same area where you have your colon removed. So I had already had 3 surgeries in that area.
Gosh.
So I had built up a tolerance. So I actually I remember when I had my colon removed, the pain there, but I was very used to that area having surgery.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't as...
Wait, did they use the same incision? Mm-hmm. You're kidding.
Yeah. Same one. So, yeah.
That's wild.
I know. So for me, the recovery of a C-section wasn't that bad. And I think I was running. I was cleared to run. My doctor came over to make sure it was healed, but about 2 weeks.
You were running 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I think I just wanted to get out.
Because she's so feisty.
Yeah, it's because you're
No,
feisty.
it's because I'm feisty.
That's what
I think I just wanted to try to
Totally
get back to normal.
I get that. I get that. I feel like people are sometimes critical of moms getting out and about with their newborns or wanting to make plans. It's hey, they're trying to prioritize their mental health right now, which is really important for them and for their baby that they're healthy and taking care of themselves because scary things can happen. I've heard of some really scary things when moms don't leave the house, getting psychosis and you're just so sleep deprived and out of your routine. It's good to do a couple things to get back into it a little bit. As long as you're safe and you were clear, you're good.
Yeah, I think it was brain fog for probably 6 months, and I didn't even realize I was in it till we got out of it.
Totally.
And I was oh, what just happened? Because I think we're just at survival mode, as you know, with just trying to do it. We were trying to keep up all of our content. We have a production company, and it was just I just have to. I have no choice.
What are those filming hours like?
So right now, on my channel, we do 6 videos a month, and so we take about 3 days for production for that channel, and then we do 4 videos.
3 days a week. Sorry. Yeah.
3 days a week from my channel, and then we usually have 1 or 2 other days, and that's for our content for his channel, and I have a second channel. So we do 20 videos a month. YouTube
Holy
videos.
cow.
When you say days, how long are you filming for?
About 9 to 6.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, 9 to 6. And then we have Zadie popping in and out. So it's kind of, if we're shooting at home, it's a lot easier because she's there. And we have a nanny on our production days that is there so that I can pop in and out whenever I need to.
No
Wow.
way.
Yeah. What about you guys? What's your schedule?
It's nothing like that.
Ours is pretty casual.
Yeah, ours is a lot more casual. We kind of we're more in the lifestyle content space,
Yeah.
so we're kind of just showing our life and having candid, fun conversations with people like you guys. I'm so curious though. Wait, 20 videos a month. There must then be a whole entire production team, a crew, a set of some sort. Do you have multiple sets that you're filming inside? How do you manage all that?
Well, we have a big production team. We've found that they're smaller is actually better. So we're trying to figure out what that number is, where it's not too big, but it's big enough where people can do their job and not feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 warehouses. We have one that has a pickleball court in it, and we use that for basketball sets. And then we have what we call HQ, and that has sets. So we have a white psych room, we have a classroom, a diner, a flex space,
Cool.
which we create. Yeah, so we have spaces, but we still film. It just depends on the video. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we were filming in a mall, and we built a secret room in a mall. So we're filming in the middle of a mall, and we found a place to build. We got cleared to film there, and
That's
build a
amazing.
secret room.
Thank you to Harry's for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. If you're an athlete like I was as a JV volleyball player in high school, you
What are you
probably
talking
smell.
about? You're an athlete now. You're a burn bro. You
And
smell
because of
like
that-
an athlete.
Because of that, I smell. And so I've been using the Harry's body wash. This stuff smells incredible. There's nothing better than body wash that just smells like a dream. I mean, this is.
See,
have
is
you
that
smelled
one your
this one?
favorite?
Because I think
Matt
the stone.
likes stone. I like fig. Fig is incredible. It
The
has
s-
cedar and orange in it.
The stone is just unmatched.
See, that's classic. This is their new one.
I wish you could smell stone through the podcast right now because it smells unreal. The formula was created by experts with years of experience at luxury brands. It feels and smells like the swanky $30 brands, but only costs $8, which is quite the bargain if you'd ask me.
You know Harry's for their incredible shave, but now you can complete your routine with amazing smelling, richly lathering body wash. This stuff gets you clean, it lathers really well, and it smells really nice. It's kind of like a body wash and a cologne all in one, because the smell really lingers on you, babe, and it gets me.
Thank you, baby.
Gets me excited.
Thank you, honey. Keep your game on point. Shower with Harry's. Try Harry's Wash Today for just $8 at harrys.com/unplanned. That's harrys.com/unplanned for a sniff of this incredible body wash.
And you better sniff it.
Wait, I just sniffed my microphone. Who was the visionary behind all of this?
I'm definitely the more creative one, but he has been on YouTube a lot, so he knows. I think he's the voice of, like, he challenges me. And then we have a team of like 3 or 4 people that are constantly like pitching ideas and brainstorming, because I really think that the more we have, the better the video is. So I like people to question it. I don't like yes men or yes women. I want to like be questioned, because all of a sudden I'll just do a whole video and it's like, why did we even do that? And it's like, so I don't want that. So I always want people questioning. I want data backing it up. We look at our YouTube analytics to study, what our audience likes, what did well, what other people in our cluster are doing, how we can do our own version of that, just studying the data.
It's crazy that in 2025, there's people like you guys with a full-on media company on YouTube. I don't think anybody saw that coming 10 years ago. That was never really a thing.
Yeah, we did not. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
When did you guys realize that was a reality for you, that building out this media company for YouTube made sense? How long ago?
I think it was just this year. All of a sudden, when people were like, how many people do you have? And we were like, we have a lot of people right now. I was like, when did this happen? Like, it's a lot. But I did see, back in 2017, I did see YouTube as a future. I did see it as a business. I started YouTube as an adult. So, where like the V1 YouTubers just did it, made home videos. They never thought of it like that. I strategically went to YouTube because I had an ostomy bag. I had quit acting because of my surgeries.
Yeah.
And I specifically was like, this is what I have to do. I don't know if I'm going to have an ostomy bag forever. I can't act anymore. So I'm just going to do YouTube videos. And I'll produce, and like I had no other, in my mind, I had no other option.
You can't act with an ostomy bag. They won't let you.
I was nervous.
They have this law where you can't act if you have an ostomy bag.
No, that is not true. It wasn't about that.
That's so messed up.
Yeah, you can definitely. There are actually actors that do have ostomy bags.
Okay.
The issue for me at that time was it was 9 months, and I had 3 surgeries in 9 months. So it wasn't necessarily that I couldn't act. It was that it took about a month for recovery. Think of a C-section and times that by a little, like, I don't know. I don't want to say how much more, but it was just a very serious surgery. So times that by 3 surgeries in 9 months and a month recovery at least. And so I just didn't know like where I would be, if I'd be able to go, if I could audition, if you can audition, the timing of everything. So I just thought, this is now my reality, at least for the next 9 months.
And am I pronouncing that right? Is it ostomy or ostomy?
Ostomy.
With an M.
Oh, with an M. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you describe what that is to somebody who has no idea what that word means?
I can say it pretty simple if you want.
Yeah.
So basically, you lose the function to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And it's right here on the little
You go to the
No
bathroom
way.
in a bag.
for solids.
No way.
Yeah. So
You have to change out the solid bag.
my body needed rest because of the inflammation. So they, instead of being able to reconnect it wasn't in good condition. So they basically took where you'd go and put it to the side. So I would go in a bag and then I had to heal for 6 months before they could go in and with my small intestines form a pseudocolon. And then that had to sit for another 3 months, and they had to test it to make sure it didn't leak, and then they could reconnect it.
So that was the 3 surgeries?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's gnarly.
So I have a J pouch, which is a pseudocolon made out of my small intestines.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah, science.
Science is
That's
awesome.
pretty incredible,
Science.
honestly.
Yeah. You get used to it. It's interesting, and you don't feel like the urgency that you have to go to the bathroom. It's the weirdest thing.
And that's why you were saying you felt like you couldn't eat out at one point because of...
That was before when I had ulcerative colitis. Once I had a bag, I was fine unless you have like soda, it like bloats it, or you have broccoli. There's certain like gassy foods that would
So
put
yeah,
air in it.
she would basically, we would go to like a restaurant or anything like that, and the first thing we both, okay, bathroom's over here or right here, because she would have to go to the bathroom about 30 times a day, and so we would have to
30 or 3?
30.
30.
Yeah,
So
30
we would have to
plus.
like kind of plan out, okay, here's our every situation. Like right now, we know where the bathroom's at in this room. It's right back here. But like, that's kind of the how we had to train ourselves and always have like an exit plan.
How dope is it though that you went through all that and then were able to start this company?
You didn't let it slow you down.
You didn't go, oh, why me? Like, this is so hard. You kind of just said, hey, I'm gonna push through this, and I'm gonna
Look at this differently.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think at some point you're probably thinking like, why me? But
I definitely did go through that, but I always had hope that it would get better because I just think you have to. So there were definitely bad days, but I mean, now I look back and I think that is my superpower. Like you guys are like, you have so much energy, and I think when you're sick for that long or you've experienced near death, I mean, for me, it was a life or death surgery. You see things differently. And I really look at just doing as much as I can because I have the opportunity to live. And I don't think I would have had that, and I wouldn't have that perspective if I hadn't gone through what I went through. I'm not.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So it makes everything when you're like, oh, I have to film another video.
Podcast naps. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like filming 20 videos a month is like, that's fun for me. You know, I don't mind doing it.
Question for you guys, because this is kind of important for us to know.
Yeah.
Difference between baby 1 and baby 2.
We might have different answers.
You take this one. You got it.
Yeah.
Once you have one, you've done all the hard work of adjusting into the mindset of a parent. You know, like your schedule's totally uprooted. You're like, okay, this is a baby. I have to sleep, eat. I have to learn all these things, changing diapers, all of that. You've already done all that. So it's, you get thrown off a little bit when you're thrown back into the newborn stage, but you have this confidence of like, okay, I did this. And it was great. Yeah. We got through it. You have that perspective of like, okay, toddlerhood looks like this. We're going to get to that point and this will fly by. Like you have that, you have the wisdom that makes everything, like, I almost feel like I was able to like enjoy a little bit more with our second, just knowing that scared. Like, there's a little bit less fear in that. But the problem is your nap times, they could be...
Yeah.
You're not going to get to just relax when one is napping because you're going to have another one awake.
Yep.
With nighttime wake-ups, it's probably going to be double because, like, you got 2 that could always throw a curveball. Oh, sicknesses with 2. One gets it. You're going to be down for the count.
Let's just keep on the positives, okay? It's positive.
I
want something to look forward to right now.
Right when they're on the mend, the next one's going to get it. And then you're back at home. Then your husband's going to get it. Then you're going to get it. But sicknesses with 2 is just brutal. Flu season for us was...
But the positives, though, are like being in the car as a family, and you look back and you see our kids like holding hands, or our 2-year-old's eating Cheez-Its, and he hands a Cheez-It to his little brother.
He gets 2 of everything for his little brother. He's like, nope, one for Augie. Like, he always gets something for him.
Always looking out for his brother. Yeah.
Like, in the parking lot, they make each other laugh.
Yeah, just seeing your kids be friends and bond is the sweetest thing. It just melts your heart. It just
So you said earlier you had done IVF, so you knew that was like gonna be. You still had embryos.
Yeah.
So then, did you get to decide if you were gonna have a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So here, yes, you can. You can do that with IVF. There's different things that I wasn't made aware of that can up your chances. There's a thing called spinning. So our problem was we wanted girl eggs and we had a lot of boy eggs. So we did multiple rounds to try to get good quality girl eggs. They're also all rated. So there's like a day 1 or a day 5. Like a day 5 is a good egg, a strong, like think of a weak egg, and then a good or great egg.
Interesting.
So we were having troubles with girl eggs. And so I had put all girl eggs in. I'd put 4 eggs, female eggs, and they'd been unsuccessful. I only had 1 left. And so
Yeah, the first two tries.
This is the first with
So
Zadie.
first try we did 2.
with the before Zadie, with the miscarriages I had, I just was unsuccessful.
So basically they put in 2 eggs, that both girls, and the strongest eggs that we had. And then unfortunately just
it didn't.
we weren't planned out, I think, on that. And then the second miscarriage hit us like at week what was it? Week 10 or week 9. It was really hard that because we thought
there was multiple, but also when you have 2, you lose 1. So when you lose 1, there's a lot of like that's also hard because you lost it. It didn't make it, and so there's like double if you put 2 in. So for the one with Zadie, we put in, she was our last week female egg. And so we put in a boy as well because I knew I wanted to get pregnant, and I just wanted to be pregnant at this point, but I knew I would not be able to have a girl if this didn't work. And he was strong and she was weak, so it was just like, you know what, I don't at this point I'm like putting this in God's hands because and so I lost 1. And so it's like you see that you lost it. And so everyone thought that we lost the girl. So I had to, in my head, just know that I probably wasn't going to have a girl. We were like, we can look into adoption. There's other ways to have a girl. But I really didn't want to be upset because I wasn't upset about having a boy. I was upset that I wouldn't be able to have a girl.
Yeah, most people, when they find out the gender of their baby, they're not finding out also you're never gonna have
it was just like
that's a lot to process at
exactly
once.
So it was like I will like this dream of having a daughter will never happen in the way that I pictured it.
Yes.
So when we had our gender reveal, it was actually a true gender reveal because they can't tell once the eggs are in if it's the boy or the girl. So everyone had thought it was the boy and it turned out to be the girl.
No way.
So it was incredible. So yes, you can, like, we knew going into this, we only had boy eggs, so it had to be a boy. But in that situation, that circumstance, we did not know. And we actually thought it would be a boy. And I worked on my face, like, we're going to be happy, grateful to have a boy and be pregnant. Like, I had to, like, really come to terms with that because I didn't want my face to know, like, to show that I was anything but grateful. It was just also, like, I had always wanted a little girl as well. Aww. And so when we found out it was a girl, it was like, the odds were against her and she came through.
She said, I'm not a weak egg.
I know.
Wait, so she was your 5th?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Our 5th female egg.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. A lot of rounds of IVF.
So then how did you come to the decision to do surrogacy with your second?
So because of how hard it was for me to get pregnant the first time, we knew that it would be easier to have a surrogate. But what a lot of people didn't know, and I've talked about this a little bit, is because I have no colon, it's harder for me to absorb nutrients. And everything goes through me 4 times, like takes half the time.
Yeah.
So she was almost premature because I almost lost her because I couldn't give her the nutrients. So I had to go on IV fluids 2 hours a night for the last month or 2 of my pregnancy just to make sure she could be full term. And so with that, we knew that would already be the case with this one. But now I have a daughter and I'm already spending a lot of time filming, and 2 hours now with with nighttime routines and everything would be a lot to take away from her. And I felt like if I would lose being a mom to her. On top of that, I am high risk with everything going on. So we just decided, because I wanted to also be a mom to her and prioritize her, whereas before I could just prioritize her in my stomach, it would be the best option to have a surrogate. Yeah. So
I remember hearing, didn't your sister or somebody say to you at one point, I'll be a surrogate for you?
Yes.
How selfless. Like, was that ever an idea of going with a family member to be the surrogate?
Honestly, I would have loved that. My sister had just passed the age of, like, being
like acceptable
because there's like a screening process.
Really? Okay.
And so we kind of just moved on from that. But yeah, it's a very different experience. It's hard because when you're pregnant, you feel everything. So you feel that connection. And with a surrogate, you're trusting someone with your child, and you don't know what they're doing, and you can only control to a certain point. And so I was talking to Abby earlier how out of control you feel. And, you know, when you like to be in control and you have no control, it's very hard and stressful. And, you know, we love our surrogate. And, but it is still hard. You know, sometimes I forget we're having baby number 2, you know, like everyone's like, how is it going? And it's like, if they miss an appointment, it stresses me out, you know, like I have no control. And then August is going to come and I'm going to have this little newborn baby. And it just feels like it's so cool. Like I'm going to have to jump into it really fast, where I think as when you carry a baby, you have 9 months to kind of prepare. There's the nesting phase, you know, and with this, we're preparing, but like emotionally preparing. I think that's been the harder. Like,
and what other circumstance is a parent, you know, away from their child for that long? I mean, that must be scary, even if it's someone that you really do trust and love, and, you know, checks all the boxes. That I can't imagine what that must be like to know that your baby is growing in someone else's body. That must be like a weird...
It's vulnerable.
Very vulnerable.
And it is very, I guess weird is the, you know, is the word to describe it. When you go into an ultrasound and it's not your body that they're rubbing the cream on and you're watching. And even, you know, if you want that surrogate to love your baby as well, you know, like she's carrying your child. But when they say like, oh, my little bean, or, you know, it's bizarre. It's the most bizarre thing, but I'm so grateful at the same time. So it's like this big, like, spectrum of emotions that you can't really describe. Like, you're so grateful, but it also feels weird and it doesn't feel natural, but you're so happy. It's everything all in one.
Someone putting themselves in that position for me to carry my child, like I would feel like that's so beautiful. It could almost like bring me to tears, like that another woman. Yeah, that's womanhood right there.
Exactly.
You know, I would feel like so grateful, and just like, you know, you just have to trust that process. You know?
And that's why it's so complicated. It's like I feel all these things, but at the same time, like, this woman is making it so that we can complete our family. You know, so it's
complex.
It's so complex.
I feel like you're allowed to feel every single side of that, where it's like, maybe I feel a little envy, maybe I feel a little bit like out of control, frustration. This is beautiful, this is my child, but like come August, like you're gonna
let's go.
Just have that.
Yeah.
Have you picked out a name?
We have, but we haven't said it yet.
Totally. Keep it a secret. Just say it amongst yourselves.
We said it starts with the letter Z.
Okay.
And we're letting
I see a theme.
people guess. Yeah.
I love that.
It's a theme.
That's really unique. So is that because of your last name?
Zamolo, yeah. And I've just always loved the Z names. And Matt is fine with it, so.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm game.
He picked the middle name. I think we both agreed on the first name with the Z. He's never fought the Z. I just have always loved the letter Z.
Okay, I'm so dumb. Is that why you named your company Molo? Is that what, because of Zamolo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Tell us a little bit about this, because you were telling me before. This is so cool.
Molo feels like my third baby. I was telling you when I got.
Here, hold the conception one.
This is awesome.
Everyone thinks I'm pregnant also.
Really?
Well, then you should be taking that.
Are you willing to take a test today?
I know that I'm not, so I will take a test.
Wait, we have the pregnancy test here.
Oh my gosh.
That is
I have like hundreds of people.
I think you have to take it on here.
Oh my
gosh. Hundreds of people are like, she's totally pregnant. I can see a bump. I'm like,
well, let's take a pregnancy test.
I'm not.
Is she pregnant?
Wow. Oh my
There's
gosh,
a pregnancy test. I think you should have to take it right now during this podcast.
I got it.
Open it up.
You're gonna take a pregnancy test right now?
Oh my God. Let's see if she really. What if she is? This is. We're gonna be the first to know.
Abby's gonna go pee like mid podcast on a stick. No.
Yeah,
I will.
I mean,
I'm game.
Honestly.
Oh my gosh.
Make the viewers wait to the end.
I guess we'll do that.
Keep talking.
Okay, yeah.
She's
tell
gonna
us
go pee in
about
a
this.
cup over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ovulation nuts.
No, you.
That's a little too personal.
Yeah. No.
So your
no.
company.
Wait, the ovulation is too personal. Pregnancy? No.
Totally fine.
Everyone
Yeah.
should know.
Okay,
All
well,
right, they're gonna have to wait till the end to see if she is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Abby is
You're
taking
sweating right now,
Yeah.
Matt.
I think we're in the clear.
This honestly could be.
That's what you thought
But
last
at
time.
the same time, though, we had an unplanned pregnancy.
Yeah.
So, and it was the best thing ever. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, regardless of what happens,
Yeah.
it's going to be okay.
Okay,
it's
and we're
gonna
not
be
mic'd up in the bathroom right now, right?
Yeah, we're not mic'd up in the bathroom.
Okay.
No. Okay, tell me more about Molo. How did you come up with this idea? Just fill me in.
Zamolo is a play on my last name.
Yes.
With Molo, it is all of the supplements that I took to finally get pregnant successfully. So when I had my miscarriage, the one at week 9, a nurse came to me, Christina, who is now partnered with me on this, and she was like, "What supplements are you taking?" And I was like, "A prenatal and maybe one other thing." And she's like, "Okay." She's like, "We're gonna get you pregnant. Here's a list of all of the supplements you should be taking. You should be taking zinc. You should be taking, CoQ10. You should be doing this." And so I went and bought all of it. And she's like, "Take this for 3 months." And so I started taking it.
Yeah, but before she did, it was a little bit of a shock because it was like a lot of these giant pills.
It was like 14 pills and you have to take them every day. And I was like, "This is crazy." She's like, yeah, all of the women complain about it, but like you need this to get pregnant. So I did it and took the pills and I did get pregnant. And so I was like, once I had Zadie, I was like, can't we make this easier for women? Why has nothing changed in like over 20 years? I was talking to a woman that went through IVF 17 years ago, and she's like, it's the exact same. It's just as hard. I had to take pills. I had to do this. You have to, it's not an easy experience. So now
We'll open it up here.
all of what
Yeah.
you need is in a stick that you can drink.
Like a powder
the exact
stick.
milligrams.
Neat.
You pour it
Okay.
in water, you drink it up, 8 ounces, and it's everything you need instead of taking all of these pills. And a lot of time, a big problem, which was for me as well, is education. You don't know what vitamins to take, and you're just searching the web. You're trying to do your best. You're piecing it together. And now with Molo, all of the vitamins are all in one, so you don't have to search, you don't have to know.
Yeah.
You just basically can mix and match based off on your pregnancy journey. If you're trying to get pregnant, if
Okay.
you are pregnant, if it's IVF, and so it's really exciting. It's really easy, and
we just launched at Walmart.
yeah.
And
That's
it's actually
huge.
the other thing that we really wanted to make sure that we made this product was affordable. So
Okay.
it's less than $30 for a 30-day supply.
No way. That's wonderful.
Where
Yeah.
the pills I was taking, it was $200 to $300 a month.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because you're buying all the different.
How are you able? So if you were
got the
paying
results.
$200 to $300 a month, what?
You already know the results?
I haven't looked.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Abby's got the pregnancy
I'll
test.
let Matt
Oh
read
my
it.
God.
I'm gonna read it. Now
I'm
I'm nervous.
nervous.
Wait, real quick. Let me
Wait.
finish up asking my
I'm
question
stressed out.
before we get into this.
I did
next-
not
What
expect
is
this to
going
happen
on?
today.
Okay. My question though is like,
Wait,
how are
is
you
that-
able to get the cost down? That's like a huge.
Yeah.
Taking $300 worth of pills a month
Yeah.
and getting your cost down to 30. How are you able to do that?
Well, we partnered with someone that specializes in health and pills and fertility.
We went through a few different routes. We were talking about doing pills at one point, and then we switched over to gummies. But we found out that the best intake was through a powder.
Okay.
It
The best
absorbs.
absorption into your body, and so this formula is like when we broke down with all the manufacturers, we wanted to make sure that we cared less about our margins being super high on this and more about it being affordable to a little bit more of a mass audience.
Very cool. And what added benefit does this have on top of, say, a typical prenatal? Because I know those have. I mean, Abby's taken those before. I think a lot of people know what a prenatal vitamin is, but what's the additional? Sorry, I'm so curious. I'm a nerd.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
I might be
think
asking
I think
too
it's
many
important,
questions.
and so it's like you have to look and see what every prenatal is going to be different. So this is optimized to help. All three of these have different ingredients, but you can take them all at the same time as well. To say like, oh, this is different than this one, it's kind of hard to say because they're all a little bit different. This one specifically is optimized for pregnancy.
Yeah,
Neat.
so like with a prenatal, generally you're getting for one ingredient you'd say CoQ10, you're only getting 50 milligrams, where a woman should be taking over 200 milligrams of CoQ10. So a lot of times they're giving you like little bits, but not the full amount. Also, with certain women that have PCOS, certain things like DHEA, which is it's something that is normally good for egg quality. It can actually kill a female embryo if you have PCOS. So we took that into account and we added something else. I think it's ADL. It's on the hormone balance. So it's safe for PCS on the back. You can read it. And wait, let me see it really quick.
No, you're good.
You need this one.
Yeah, let me just make sure I get it right.
There's a lot of science.
It's ALA. Yeah. And this is in replacement of the DHEA, which is also something you should be taking, but it is safe for everyone. So luckily, one of our partners, he specializes in all of this, and he dealt with infertility with his wife. So he's like extra knowledgeable. We brought in a nurse. We have, a lot of studies, a lot of data to back it. And with Molo, obviously this is a product, but we have a much bigger plan. We're looking to build a community. There's not really a community for women to go to who are struggling and to communicate. Our goal is to have nurses on standby. If you have questions, you can type those in. You can talk to a nurse. And just helping women feel not so alone. So Molo is a product, but we're really trying to build it out to educate women as well and make them take back control of their fertility.
I love it.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Very cool,
yeah,
guys.
we're really excited. This is something I'm super passionate about, obviously dealing with infertility and with the infertility numbers on the rise, women having kids later. I think it's really important that as women, we know what we can do to give our bodies the best chance of successfully staying pregnant.
Wow.
So
that's really cool. This
Sorry,
is exciting.
I
feel like there's such a need for
Yeah.
products like this. This is really cool. Also,
Speaking
do you
of
mind
pregnancy,
you still have the results, but I have one quick question. Do you mind if I ask, do you still have embryos?
We do. We have a few.
So are there plans for, this is so soon to be asking that, which is ridiculous, but.
Right now we are good. We're going to wait and make sure baby number 2 is healthy and then we'll figure it out. I mean, never say never, but I think we're so grateful to be able to have 2 that we're just we're not even thinking there yet. But you know who is? You guys, because you're the one who took a pregnancy test.
What is he supposed to be looking for?
On there?
One line is, or no lines, or one line?
This is 99% accurate, too.
Yeah.
So this is whatever this says.
Fingers crossed, baby.
Okay.
Make it accurate, Matt. Give
Okay,
them
here
the
we go.
exact.
Wait, so I'm looking, what am I looking for?
oh my gosh.
Wait, this is wet.
I love that. I'm trying to you know what's on that stick, right?
Okay, all right,
I
here
love
we go.
Matt, who has never opened the pregnancy
Wait, okay.
one. I like him doing this.
Matt's reading the
Give us
instructions
No,
to give me.
No. It's very clear. It's very clear.
Okay. I mean, Matt, it's right there. I'm trying to let him do it himself.
I feel like I'm doing a COVID test right now. Read there at the bottom.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Matt,
So
why
this
don't you
pregnancy
just tell him?
test, it says positive would be.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Positive is 2 lines. Negative is 1 line. Invalid is no lines.
Okay.
I'm a little worried that it's invalid.
Oh no! You'll have to do it again on your next podcast.
Okay,
I mean, it
stay
could be a lot of
tuned.
things here. Let's pull the
Okay.
strip out, guys.
So if they're control line
He
and
really
test
is worried. I feel
I'm
like.
so. Can you just read it for me? I'm
See,
confused.
look.
Just
right
it's
there.
a photo.
It's just
photo.
it's one
Okay,
line or
okay,
two.
here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here we go.
We're about to find out
We're
if Matt and
pulling this
Abby are
out.
pregnant.
Dang it!
We're negative. Yeah, we're negative.
You sure?
We're negative.
Are you sure?
Not
We're not
positive.
pregnant.
Hold on,
Hold up.
what?
This is what it looks like, but people can't even see.
I
it.
think it's invalid to be. Oh, you're supposed to put it in a cup?
Did you not put it in a cup?
No,
Oh, you didn't do it right,
I didn't do
Matt,
it
you
right.
Abby.
I'm not gonna go in there with her.
It says remove.
It's kind of an awkward situation.
It says you're supposed to dip it in a cup. See, I didn't
All
have a
right,
cup.
so
Wait.
to be
what
continued
did you
on
do?
another
Okay.
podcast.
To be
We're gonna
continued.
leave this
You know,
with
some
you.
of you have to do a stream of like 3 seconds.
Okay, we'll have to retest, but it looks like
Yes.
Abby did the test process wrong. She didn't read the
It's
instructions.
invalid.
It's invalid. Sorry,
Wait,
guys.
That one's on me.
We're hoping to have some. That would have been crazy.
You
That's gonna be like your teaser
You
at the
didn't give
beginning of the
her
video.
the
You know what I mean?
You guys, we'll have to take another one because we need a cup and we need to dip it.
I think you have another
Okay, we're gonna
podcast you have
leave
to
these
do.
with you guys.
Please.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay.
To be continued.
Now we have pregnancy tests for.
We need a follow up. These
do
results
that.
are inconclusive, and I
Yeah.
saw a faint line.
Well, this was great. You guys are wonderful.
I can't wait for
wonderful, and-
August.
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
I
can we
know.
plan a play date after that?
Please.
Yes.
Let's go.
We love
Okay.
play dates.
And
Oh,
a proper pregnancy test.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.